Hey guys, Josh from Shift Lounge. Hopefully everyone is enjoying their quarantine. I know I'm getting a little stir crazy here, but hey, everyone stay healthy, stay safe. So what I want to talk about today were just some basic modifications you can do to the z06 that are pretty cost effective as far as, horsepower gains or performance gains, I guess is a better way of putting it, versus the cost. Now, again, just to kind of clarify, this is going to be very broad. I know there's going to be a lot of instances where if you do something for one thing that it might not be as beneficial if you don't have these other things done. So I'm going to try to stay away from that and just stick to just these mods, but here we go. Alright, first thing, the intake. So as you can see, the intake for the z06 has a lot of plastic shrouding and stuff or whatnot. From what I understand, I have no idea if this is true, but it's so that rain and debris can't come in underneath the grill and then get sucked into the engine, since technically these cars have to be okay to drive every day. I don't know if that's true, that's just what I heard, but because of that, there is a significant amount of power you can pick up by just adding an intake. It's kind of like back in the day with our Civics and whatnot, for all of you that had Hondas, where they said, you gain 15 or 20 horsepower with this, and really you probably gained maybe 2, if that. Well, in this instance, it actually is true. You are going to pick up a decent amount of power by just adding a cold air intake. I added a Veraram on mine and couldn't be happier with it. So the second thing is headers. On the z06, there are, I believe, 2 cats in the headers that you can eliminate by some off-road pipes, or if you want something with high flow, that's kind of up to you. Personally, I went with American Racing headers that have no cats, and so yeah, it probably isn't a good idea if you're in a place with strict emissions like California, but where I live, that's fine, no emissions testing. And because you're eliminating those cats, there is a lot of power that you can pick up. And headers aren't really overly that expensive. I think I paid $1,200 for mine. So it's something you can do easily, a lot to gain, and it sounds a lot better. One of my big complaints about the z06 from the factory is that it's not very loud, and that's kind of, part of why we have cars. So interestingly enough, I would not recommend someone getting an aftermarket exhaust. Personally, I have the Borla Attack, been very happy with it, sounds great, but there isn't that much to actually gain with it. If I had known then when I was buying mods, compared to what I know now, I probably would not have done it. It seems like people with the stock exhaust can have up to about 1,000 horsepower and have it not lose a ton of efficiency. So if you're going to be under probably the 800 horsepower threshold, I don't know if you necessarily really need to do it. Plus, it is a bitch to change the exhaust. You have to drop a lot of the rear suspension to get the pipes over, and it's just a big pain in the ass. I think it took us an hour to do the intake and the headers, and it took us, I want to say, 7 to do the exhaust. Granted, we probably, there's a lot of, drink breaks and things like that in there, but either way, I don't think exhaust on these cars is really that great or necessary of modification right away. Okay, third thing is a cam. Now, with these cars, you probably want to exchange the heads and cam anyways due to the heads issue, which I covered in another video. But if you don't, you can get a very nice mild street cam for not very much money. Texas Speed's a very popular option. Right now, they're running a special, I think. I saw it on their website. It's $300. And you don't have to remove the head, so it's any sort of kind of weekend tuner can probably just throw it on there. It's, again, it's not for everyone. It's going to sound a little bit more aggressive. You'll pick up some power, and yeah. But I would recommend, if you are going to go that route, to probably try to do the heads at the same time. Fourth thing is a tune. So a lot of places these days use HP tuners, and if you're, tech savvy enough and know enough about cars, you can actually buy the software for yourself and tinker with it on your own. I'm not that inclined to do that just because I don't want to break anything on my car, and I wouldn't want to mess with some settings I shouldn't. But it's only going to be probably a couple $100 at any sort of tuner. A lot of places do it. So as long as you're not doing anything really crazy with a crazy fuel system, all sorts of other like standalone engine management type stuff, a tune's not going to be that much. And if you have all the other mods I sort of presented earlier, it's going to pick up a decent amount of power. Plus, you are not going to have all of the like check engine lights and things on that I have on in my car, because mine is untuned and without any O2 sensors. The car doesn't really like that a whole lot, so it's running really, really rich. I posted the video over the summer from my dyno with just the mods, and it put down a lot less power than I was kind of expecting, mainly because it was running a really, really rich air-fuel ratio, just because of the engine was just dumping fuel because it didn't have any O2 sensors. So I would highly recommend the tune if you have other mods, because you are definitely going to pick up some power. Okay, so the fifth and last thing I wanted to talk about today is suspension. So for whatever reason, I'm not sure why this is. I'm sure someone's going to tell me after the fact, but the Corvettes all have leaf springs, which is a little strange on a car with this performance level, but it is what it is. A lot of people go with a full coilover system. That is a little bit on the expensive side, and especially considering that the C6 Z06 suspension as is already pretty good. So for most people who are just going to be kind of throwing it around like the twisties or a weekend autocross, it might not necessarily be worth it to spend that money on a full coilover system. So one really popular option is just doing shocks and sway bars, and the most popular from what I can tell from just seeing the online community is just the sway bars. Apparently people like to stiffen up the front, but then also kind of like the back, I guess, stock is a little twitchy, so a new sway bar back there kind of helps with that. I'm not really sure. I don't ever autocross my car. Maybe I will at some point, but really I kind of just like, go from a stop or, go straight down the highway. A former super guy, so I like things from a roll. But yeah, if you are looking to do weekend autocrossing, the sway bars and the shocks are definitely something you can do in your garage without too much trouble. I've been under there when I took the wheels off, put the exhaust on. It's not too hard to get in there and change that stuff if you are going to. But yeah, other than that, I appreciate you guys watching. Again, stay safe. Hopefully we can get out of the house here soon. Right now, we are in a shelter-in-place order, so I can't really go out and do anything. I've been to the grocery store and the liquor store. That's kind of about it, though. But thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time.